Yeah. It's been,
It is Capital 100.4 FM. That is Heartbeat, the pulse on a Monday. And you know it. Mama Ole, do you want to tell us what we're doing today?
Most definitely. So guys, we are going to be going straight into Hustle Hard, and then we have trending stories coming soon after. And then of course, definitely we have a new segment that we call the Sick Bay. So on the Sick Bay, we are going to be having people sending messages to their loved ones who are in hospitals, maybe those who are even at home and not feeling well. So you send a message, you tell us what you want us to tell your friend, your relative, and then most definitely we'll play a song that you would have requested. So after that, we also have what we call happy return birthdays. Everyone was born at some point.
Yes, true.
So we're going to be celebrating your birthday. And Precious is going to share the people that were born on the same day, which is today, right? And then after that, we will definitely round up the show.
Right. So Ndoma Nice, what were you saying? Ndoma said every day in March it's her birthday.
Yes, every day is my birthday. So,
Women's Month.
no, every day is my birthday. Mama, you owe me a birthday. When is your birthday?
It's in June.
Thank you. So yeah,
June
I started. You owe me a birthday present. Precious.
Are you going to put me on the spotlight? Are you actually going to put me on the spotlight? You do not know what I'm
Precious and Mr. George Billion. You see, why? Check the people around you. I'm not thinking Roma wants 1.2 million. In the Hangotiva, can a lollipop. Oh, it's okay.
Hey.
Okay, you want to eat box check and get birthday number. Watch your 1.2 later.
Later. That's not going to tell you I'm going to business. You know, Regani. You cannot change your run. This is actually not going to change your life. Was it?
Imagine you, babe. You are eating is going to Right, if you say so. So, what are we talking about today?
All right, Mr. George Billionaire, how are you? How is the weekend?
I'm good. Holla. It's your boy, George Billionaire, and today we've got a full house. And on this amazing airline, some great things are going to be happening. As always, we are here to provoke, to inspire, and to equip people. And success is an inside job, and it begins with you. And our purpose and mandate is to do one thing: transform people's mindsets. And I love a verse in the Bible. Now, I was reading the Bible this weekend, and there's a verse we all know. It says, do not be conformed to this world, which translated in the George Munengwa version is, usawese munhu wese. Don't be like ordinary people, but be ye transformed. Be ye transformed. You must deliberately transform your mindset. You understand?
Yes.
So do not be conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And all of us, I know, as we grew up at school, we were programmed to think a specific way. We were told that you must pass your exams, you must go to university, you must have a degree. But after all of that, your mindset now has to be deliberately edified to what you want to fulfill in life, because all of us got the same ingredients, the same fertilizer, and we all grew. But in order for you now to be different, to be successful, to become a person of significance, you must deliberately feed your mind with certain things that will transform you. And I think this is why here on Capital, on Hustle Hard, this is what we've been doing for the past 4 years, changing people's mindsets, telling people that it is possible. The mindset you grew up with is not the mindset you need to die with. You need to deliberately change your mindset. And I'm so happy with the comments that were coming in last week of people who've started business, people who've applied some of the things we talk about here on Hustle Hard, people who've lost their jobs, like we always talk about here, relying on one stream of income, and are actually trying to do something. And that's the main purpose of life. So we don't want people to die full of just that transformation they got in tertiary and primary and secondary education. But we want now realistically for you to change how you think, change how you perceive certain things so that your life can be what you want it to be. I think one thing I keep saying to people is that there is no one coming to rescue you. Hakuna munhu ari kuuya kuzokubatsira muupenyu hwako at all until wazvibatsira. You cannot expect the government to give you a loan for you to have a better life. You can't. You have to make a deliberate choice, and that begins by you starting. So to everybody who's tuned in and who's been watching us, let's not be just hearers. There's so many people who love this program. They love hearing. I get so many calls soon after the show. Wow, George, that was powerful. I'm so motivated. But we all know the 48-hour rule. Whatever you don't do with the information after 48 hours, your mind goes back to factory settings. Wakungorarama nje, upenyu hwanga uchirarama. And we don't want to be those people. We want to become doers, because doers are people who change the world. People who sit on their hands are like those guys, the parable in the Bible, 1, 5, 10. The guy who got one, he got something, but he didn't do anything with what he got. But here in this life we live, we all have 24 hours. We all have the same opportunities. We all see the problems in the country, which are very many, just like any other country. Other countries are at war right now. There are many problems. But I can tell you, in that country, there's somebody who's seeing a problem of people not having water or something, and is supplying and making money. And here in Zimbabwe, just like anywhere else in the world, there are problems. So if you solve a problem in a country or an environment you are in, people will reward you for you solving that problem by exchanging money for whatever product or service you are offering. So with that, my urge to people is, very soon things are going to change in the whole wide world, and people who have their jobs will not have as many jobs available. And there's going to be a serious mindset shift which needs to happen to people that have to now start providing for their families. Because once your job goes, remember, you've got kids. I've got 5 of them. If I lose my job, if I was working for somebody and I have 5 kids to take care of, you can only imagine. Because what do you mean? And you know, it just shows you that people are making a plan. And you know, talking about that trending stories you were talking about, I saw that man cooking at a bus stop. For me, I see creativity. As much as, yes, it's not the right thing to do at the place, but for me, it's somebody seeing a problem and trying to provide a solution. It's not the best way, of course, the way he is doing it. And because of that, can you see how many people have come to assist? But had he never started, my opinions, and that's where, imagine, because Anama and Duanofano bigger sadza. But look, because he did what everybody else is not doing, he's gotten people rallying behind him, are willing to support him. And that's the same thing with you who's holding on to your dream and not starting. You will never get people to support you. I promise you, if I had not started Pro Air, many people who support me in the country, out of the country, would not be supporting me and exchanging money for the air conditioning solutions I do. So it's the same thing with you. Wakaramba uchingoti, idea yangu, I don't think it will work. Baking cakes, I can bake, but post up a status what I'm doing this. People will not know what you keep private, but people will support what you make public and you are proud of. And this is my call to people, that let's not die full. Let's make sure we try as much as we can, because the last time I checked, many failures must be arrived at before you reach the destination called success. So you must keep trying and trying and trying until you get that thing called success.
All right, before we get into today's topic, there's a question from last week that I took note of. And if I'm employed, investing and saving properly, is that not building wealth already? Or is employment still a trap?
Okay, so if he's investing, is that what this question was? It depends what you're investing in. I always tell people that it's always nice to invest in something that gives you a return. And depending on what type of return, there are what are called long-term investments, right? That if you lose your job right now, your standard of living is not going to be affected or changed. So it's good. The most important thing is, yeah, you must have some form of money coming in. My investment, if your job goes now, are you going to now go unotanga kufukunula investment here to sustain your current lifestyle right now? So mine is to say to people, try and do something that at least gives you some form of return whilst you are still employed. I think one of the key things I keep mentioning to people, I used to be under the JOB.
Mm-hmm.
I used to once upon a time be just over broke, and I used to work 8 to 5, as much as offensively as it may seem to people. But it's a starting point, because everybody who you know who is successful in the country today used to work for somebody. Our own president used to work for somebody. Dr. Strive Masiwa once upon a time used to work at the PTC. Ken Sharp used to work somewhere. Nigel Chanakira used to work somewhere. Amai Rebecca somewhere. They all used to work somewhere. But it's what they did with their salaries that they decided to invest in something that now takes care of them, whether they decide to wake up to go to work or not. And that is our definition of heaven on earth. But as long as you are just relying on your JOB, you're going to be living hand to mouth. As harsh as that seems, yes, we can't all be entrepreneurs, but there are people who are supposed to be entrepreneurs. And those people are the ones who decide to. If you don't see yourself as an entrepreneur, my saying to you is, it's a pity you don't know what's at the top of the mountain, and you don't know how it looks up here. But once you decide to, and you start going up, yes, it's a journey where you're going to go up for the next 5-10 years going up that mountain. But I can guarantee you the best decision I made many years ago was to start this journey of entrepreneurship, because had I remained on my job, I think I've told the story many times, I used to earn $300. I would never be able, and I say never be able, to sustain the family, the life I live now, had I listened to people telling you, no, entrepreneurship, leave it alone. Because there are many who will tell you that. If everybody is to become an entrepreneur, who will employ others? Those are many excuses that hold people back. But if you decide to start, there's so much more behind that door of your greatest fears that will sustain you more than you can ever think or imagine. So back to my brother's question, it's great you're doing something, but do something that at least gives you some return. Or at a long-term investment, then you lose your job. You can't sell your shares or whatever you've invested in quickly to be able to sustain your life. So, start small, but at least do something that gives you some money daily so that it grows and, you keep growing your portfolio as you go along.
All right, so today we are talking about the future of remote work. Like what you always tell us, things are changing. People have so much in the office now. There are lesser people now because of the advancement that is happening. In the past, working from home was a niche concept for many, but now it's a fundamental part of the global economy. From bustling city centers to quiet home offices, companies and employees are grappling with everything from productivity and team cohesion to technology and talent acquisition. Is the hybrid model here to stay, or are we headed for a fully distributed future? What does this mean for company culture, innovation, even our personal well-being? For someone looking to get into remote work as a side hustle, how easy is it? What strategies can they use is what we'll be getting into conversation with George. So the first question that I have is, what are the misconceptions businesses still have about remote work?
So I think one thing that COVID taught us is that efficiency is not having the numbers of people in a department or in an organization so-called working, because we found that over COVID, lesser and lesser people. We used to operate with a skeleton staff, and it's amazing how we got a lot done without a lot of people. Because if you look at, for example, the banking sector, a lot of things have changed in the banking sector, because back then you used to have 12 tellers. There was so much happening, but now due to the technology that's there's a lot of things now being done without a lot of people being involved. So technology has drastically changed how people operate. I think the one thing that we used to see videos of people wearing a jacket and they'll forget they're not wearing their trousers, then they'll get up. Of course, working at home is a bit distracting because you're in your usual work home environment. So concentrating, I think that's the major thing. But then I think what people are going to realize very soon, a lot of things I've seen in town now, a lot of companies are actually getting out of town. They're actually scaling down. They're actually having sales reps and people operating at home, still doing the exact same thing, call centers. Here in Zimbabwe, we've got so many companies that employ a lot of Zimbabweans to manage call centers for around the world. And that's how the world is operating now. So my view on the culture of people working from home, and it's going to be something that's going to increase very much, because at the end of the day, what a company needs is deliverables. Are people working and doing what they're supposed to do? Because most of the time, I think now, with having a lot of people in one department due to AI and all these things, there's a lot that can be done with your phone and technology that 10, 12 people needed to do. So again, my call is to people to say that it's amazing. This weekend, I'm about to launch my book, and my book called Stretch. I've been working on that for the past 3 years. It's amazing how technology is able to summarize a 120-page book in the click of 2-3 minutes, and it's done. It gives you a summary. But Kudara, you had to have somebody read the whole book and tell you I need 3 weeks to then write it down. But now it's being done just like that. So this is just to tell people that technology has come, and it's really out there to make life a lot more convenient for people. And if you don't adapt in it and change, your job very soon is going to go. Which is why, there's so much happening. So people must just adapt to these current modern trends, because very soon, I like how you guys here on Radio Kudara used to stay at the station. Now you can actually stream live at ProAir's head office and actually hold the whole radio afternoon or day there. That's how technology has happened, and all you leave here with is just a little thing and a receiver. But Kudara, it had to be the whole truck that would follow you to beam that signal across. So much has changed in the world, and we just need to be able to adapt. Otherwise, if we don't adapt and change, it's going to be a huge problem in the future for many who are relying on their job.
All right. So there's a message on the WhatsApp platform. Jan's tuned in from Victoria Falls Airport. Hustle Hard Show is the way to go. Hashtag making the weather behave all day, every day, all year around. Proud ProAir ambassador, representing always. It is Ben Junior Mwaki, the 263 channel.
Oh wow, it's amazing. And can you see how technology? He's probably listening from an app on his phone.
Yeah, true.
That's how technology is. Back then you only had to be in your car to listen to radio.
True.
But now with our mobile handheld devices, you can be listening to us wherever you go. And that's the convenience that technology has brought.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely amazing.
Okay, and there's something that George just mentioned when he began to talk. He said something that really struck me. He talked about the importance of identifying a problem so that you have a solution for it and make money from it ultimately. And looking from what you just said, and the idea of remote jobs, since the rise of COVID, people have been working from home. And I'm just hoping that at some point we'll be working from home.
I think it's possible. That will make it a possibility. I'll be speaking from home. You're speaking from home.
That's how they
it's
did it. So.
Virtually, it's actually going to happen.
But that wouldn't be fun, though.
But that's where the world is going, because
You think so? You'll be shocked. Just the same way, we didn't think it was possible to work away from the office. But I think, the only way to find out is to try.
Just imagine speaking to, I don't know. For me, I think it's the idea that I'm actually going to work, like bathing and dressing up and leaving the house. If I'm at home, I can just bath and then, like Jaito Kudarawa George said, and put on a shirt and because that's all. Go cooler.
But like he said, he just mentioned, you just said, so when you wake up in the morning and tell yourself, I'm going to work, you dress up, you get in your office, your home office, you sit there and you start working.
I'm always advocating.
Yeah, now I'm concerned.
Serious about it.
First.
Let's hear him talk about the tools, the critical tools and strategies that you see successful remote and hybrid teams adopting to maintain a strong collaboration.
Yeah, so I think for me, working from home needs a very seriously disciplined individual. And I've tried it. And you have my daughter Giovanna running, Daddy, and she wants me to lift her up. And you can't keep certain things. So working from home needs a serious disciplined work culture. And I really advocate more for obviously the old school traditional way of people coming in, being in a quiet, workable environment. But I think because of technology and how things have changed now, there's so much easiness of doing business than what was there before, because now depending whatever department you're in or whatever you're doing, there's so many tools to help you. I was going on a winter campaign for ProAir, and I asked all these artificial intelligence, what's the best way to be able to execute this challenge during winter? And it's amazing the things that came up. And this is what somebody went to university for, who has a PhD, who is going to sit down and tell you. But now it's just at the click of your hand. So what used to have, a team building session, a boardroom, now can be done remotely. And this is why I keep telling people that basa ratiri kutemba ratakabata uchiti, yeah, I've got a PhD in marketing. Remember, now there's something that if you ask it in seconds, it will give you references and all the answers. So for me, remote working needs a disciplined culture. I mean, it works depending on whatever industry that you're in. But I think depending on the different types of businesses that are there. But I think it works. But for me, I think especially like with the organizations we run here, of course we need people around. We need to be able to execute. We need to be able to report and do all these things. But again, like I tell you, I'm so amazed at how quickly technology is moving, and how you who never did marketing are able to present a marketing plan for an organization just by you typing it in and be able to orate it out. People will think you're a genius, yet your phone is the real genius. Yeah, so for me, there's a lot of pros and cons for technology for me, but I think we must use it to the best ability to help organizations grow. But like again I said, it differs depending on the different organization that you run. Obviously for radio, we need to be here in studio, and other organizations can be able to operate remotely because they can call, they can send their reports there, and things can work the way they are.
Do you think there are any drawbacks from this? Because yes, we're talking about the positive aspect, but obviously, in everything, there are also negative aspects of everything, right?
Yeah.
What would you say about the
So
negative
I think my drawbacks, just like what Norma said and even I said, is that when you're at home, the concentration level is different. You've got too many distractions. Right now, we're in the studio, we're working. We are focused on what we are doing for the next 3 hours. No distractions. Nobody is calling us. Nobody is disturbing us. So I think for me, like I said, it needs a very seriously disciplined team. If you're not disciplined, which a lot of people at home will not be, because you'll feel thirsty, you want to go to the fridge, on your way there, you bump into a soap that's coming up, you're distracted, the next thing you know, an hour, 2 hours is gone because you're in your usual comfort zone. So for me, this is why I'm not very much for working at home. But the future is real, and the future is going to be all about that, because I remember growing up watching this movie, and at that time we never used to understand it. We used to see self-driving cars, we used to see virtual things, and this was early 90s. And we used to think, this is crazy, there are cars that are flying. But can you imagine now with what's happening?
The Tesla.
Imagine that.
Cybertruck.
Kudara, when there was news happening, a helicopter would have to fly over the scene. But now we have a drone which can do that. And it doesn't have to. So a lot has changed technologically, and we just need to embrace it. But again, my major distraction for people would be the comfort zone, which is at home. So not much productivity will come out of that, which is why the 8 to 5 away from home is good, because it helps people focus. You're in an environment where at lunch Otherwise, how many tea breaks can
Could
you
you
have?
have-
Oh, no, but tea break. Oh, no, I'm okay. Let me go get a sandwich. No, let me go get lunch. Let me take a walk outside. But at work is work. So at work, at least you're in an environment which is obviously air conditioned, so it's cool, right? So you can concentrate and focus.
Yeah.
But at home, that fan will not cool you, and you won't be able to concentrate whilst you're doing what you're doing.
And you talked about hustling, like finding a side hustle when
Yeah.
you're at work. If you're at work right now, you need to find a side hustle. And maybe how can one then use this remote work as a side hustle?
Yeah.
For a start, obviously, and then it will grow. But is it something that's easy, especially in our country?
It is. I know somebody who will listen to this program who sent me an amazing long audio. She bakes cakes and she's working 8 to 5. But when she gets home, on her WhatsApp status, she posted these cakes. And it's amazing how she started like that, because she couldn't disturb her 8 to 5. But what she did after work is what is now actually sustaining her, because every other day there's a birthday party, there's a celebration. And at work, she's an office administrator.
Okay.
But then she has a gift with her hands to bake, and she's baking overnight. And she's selling those cakes like hotcakes. Yeah, and now she's making a lot of money. So Kwandiri, it's the excuse that people are willing to make. Because you get home, you say you're tired, I've had a long day. But whilst you're tired, there's somebody making a plan. I don't know to wait. There are people every day. No, man, it was your birthday last week, and I got you soon after the show. All right, I got you. Right.
Okay.
So people are tired. But you're tired. But remember, you only have certain years of productivity. And this is what I say to people. My major quote to people is, you will never know until you try. And had she remained at her administrative post, not baking the cakes, she wouldn't be able to now. Her son is going on tour, and she's providing some of that money from those cake sales, because her salary alone was not able to. And this is what I say, once those cakes that she's selling are able to become more than her salary, then she must become more serious with the cake business. Start from delivering them with a car, which she's doing, right? Initially she started in driving the cakes to the place, but now she bought a little car and she's growing. So side hustle to people is not what you have to necessarily do 8 to 5. And I mean, think about it. Even if you're at work, your WhatsApp status is your personal WhatsApp status. It has nothing to do with the work. Is your boss going to be offended by you saying, I sell cakes? It's not disturbing your 8 to 5. But it's just, oh, by the way, Norma, you do cakes. Every birthday for everybody at the studio. Now you're contracted to do that. Imagine that.
We need to
Wow, to bigger.
make
Can imagine now you're getting $40-$50 for stuff that you use $20 ingredients. That's $30 over and overnight, just you baking a cake. So, success usually most of the time is missed by many people, because it comes dressed in overalls, and people don't like the dirty work. Or we're tired, I don't have the time. But there are others who are seeing the opportunity, who are making the most of what they have, where they are, and they are starting small, which is the secret. The secret is to start small. Start where you are. Don't be ashamed of your hustle. Kana uthengesa ama-freeze it ayise pa status unotonzi no pa studio toda ma-freeze it 50 kwaphisa, and you would have never sold them had you never put them out there. So it's important, don't be shy. Don't be Nyarai or Shailene with your hustle. Be unapologetically proud of that which you do. And you'll be amazed at how people will support you. Because most people right now, don't talk about what they do. And this is how, when you put that back to remote working, you're putting it on your status, you are even sending, you don't even need to deliver it. You put it on an InDrive. The customer pays the delivery charge when the cake arrives. You get your payment. All you did was bake and order a car, and it's delivered, and you make your money. How simpler is that? There's no hassle. Those who deliver after work. See, technology has made life so easier for us now. How we need to do what we need to do.
All right, it is Capital 100.4 FM Radius Heartbeat. To those who want to get in touch with you, how do they do so?
Right, so George Billionaire on all social media platforms, and like I said, I've got an amazing book by the name Stretch. We're going to be launching that very soon. And that's a book that talks about all these things we talk about on Hustle Hard, about my story, where I came from. And all of us should be able to write a book to leave something of trace long after we are gone because of the steps that we took. So that's going to be available very soon. And as always, we've got a YouTube channel which has many videos. I know many people want to ask, how did you do this? But if you go on YouTube and you watch most of those videos, I can tell you you'll be transformed in the way you think. And even without meeting me one-on-one. No, man, as you said one-on-one last week. One-on-one sounds like I'm a prophet or I'm a man of God. No. Yes, I do have a mentorship program. And, for all those who want more info, GB Mentorship on Instagram. You can come and register for one of our masterclasses and you can learn from there.
One-on-one.
Capital 100 Brain for Maranis. Heartbeat, do stick around for the news.